they should. They're only laying 4.5 points on the road. And also Cal Poly has not beaten a Division I basketball team since December 2nd. Their last win came this weekend against a Division II team, which, like Notre Dame, California, I've never even heard of the team before. I like Cal Santa Barbara laying the 4.5 tonight. Easy win.
All right, just for fun, just straight up, I mean, who do you like into the Atlanta Saints game just for fun? If you were, are you saving that for your picks at 800?
Atlanta Saints?
Yeah. No, the Atlanta Rams game.
Rams?
If you like the Rams at home?
I think they can win big. I don't trust Atlanta. I mean, their last, I think, 4 out of 6 games, they've only scored 17 points. That's not going to be enough against this Rams team. I think Todd Gurley is going to run like an animal.
Okay, one last thing. Of all the quarterbacks in the playoffs, because up next, we're going to go through our trust level of quarterbacks. We're ranking the trust level of the top 12 of the 12 starters in the playoffs. Who do you trust the least of all the quarterbacks in the playoffs right now?
Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles. Fair enough. All right. And you'd actually say you trust their defense about near the top, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
That's why
I think if they get lucky, they might be able to beat New England if they can run the ball.
And the problem is, if you have to throw it, Blake Bortles is going to throw you right out of it. KT, great stuff, man. Some fun picks. People jump on board. You can get him at 800-220-6262, 800-220-6262, 800-220-6262, and thesportsbrokers.com. He's our guy, Kevin Todd. We appreciate you, brother.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. That's Kevin Todd. We're coming back, and we will rank from 12 to 1 the trust factor with the quarterbacks in the playoffs. I don't care if it's who they're playing. You have your own grading system. Who do you want on the field this weekend, next weekend, and through January and into February? Trust 12 to 1. That's next on BN Sports SB Nation Radio. This is the Sean Salisbury Show.
This is
Beam him in, Trudy.
I mean, people know, and I know what he was trying to say, that Tennessee has given up more points than they've scored and made the playoffs. That's happened more than once in history, but it happened this year, and Tennessee's the team it happened to, and they're in. He's exactly right about that, but I believe it's happened maybe a couple dozen times over the course of history, but this one, but he's right, Kevin, I'm with him 100% on the lack of trust in in Tennessee right now.
What we know it means is the Titans are not a good football team.
That's exactly right.
You've been outscored, you're not good.
And the truth is, normally when you're outscored like that, you truly are you're more of a 7-9, 8-8 team. In truth, that's basically what you are.
People keep talking about how Mariota took such a big step back this year. Did he ever really take a big step forward?
Before he got hurt, he started to make steps. But you're exactly right. Like for a full 16 games, no. But he did make some leaps last year, as did Winston. Winston had some games and flashes of brilliance again this year, but one turns the ball over too much. One's a little inconsistent. And
I think there's construction going on here.
I don't understand how many times we must tell our people. We got to go tell them. Tell Ron the jackhammer is not supposed to be running during a live television show.
It's so soothing, though.
Yeah,
it
it's
out
awesome.
With the heat.
I hope
feel like I'm in a spa right now.
Hope the people at home, aside from the fact that it's 94 degrees, they turn the jackhammer on at 6:30. That life's good. Okay, so we're going to hey, but we got to play under pressure, right, Robin?
It's like playing with crowd noise, right?
Yes, you play with crowd noise.
Should we go to hand signals
on the
show?
It's fine with us. Max and our guys back in Miami, the production crew's probably like production crews like. And Camargo and the rest of them, Mike, are like, what's going on here? I don't blame them. And the people at home are probably like, what has happened there? So if we could just hold the jackhammer, the ditch witch, the crane, whatever, the wrecking ball.
What was the one you said before? The crane?
Crane?
No, before crane.
Jackhammer?
No, before that.
Ditch witch.
Yeah, what's that?
You haven't seen a ditch witch?
No.
You poor thing. We'll talk.
Hey, you learn something new every day, man. I
you know what a jackhammer is,
I'm going to Google it.
You know what a jackhammer is?
Yes, I know what a jackhammer is.
You know what a wrecking ball is?
Yes, I know what a wrecking
ball is.
I hope it doesn't.
Cyrus, that's probably the only reason why.
I hope it doesn't hit the building. Just if we were just come right through.
Hop on.
Like right now, if we were in Miami, we wouldn't hear this, right?
Is that a nice ploy to get us to Miami?
Hey,
I see what you did there.
All I want to do is just throw that out there. If we were there right now, we wouldn't hear the jackhammer, right? Yeah. There's a moon over it, too.
Oh, boy.
I like it.
Oh, boy. Say it.
Yeah. Boy.
I love my guys in Miami. Okay, hey. All right, Robin, we're going to start with you. Here's the name of the game so we can get through this. Start at 12, pick one, give me one sentence on why he's the least one.
That's not the name of the game. That's the explanation.
What did I say, the name?
Yeah.
Here's the name. Well, the name of the game
the rules of the game.
The name of the game is trust your quarterback, or do you trust this quarterback, or trust in the quarterback, or who do you trust the least? There's a lot of trust games.
Long title, but I like it.
Yes, exactly.
It's a working title.
The way we're going to go about this is just him and why.
Okay. I actually have Marcus Mariota last. It was between him and Nick Foles to me. But here's why I went with Mariota. Because when Nick Foles has played his best, when he threw 4 touchdown passes this year in his first game taking over, or when he threw 7 touchdowns and has the record for a single game, he's played better than any time Mariota has played his best football.
Okay.
I put mine into tiers, so 12th on my list is under the zero faith from 12 to 10, and that would be Nick Foles. Nick Foles has not been a good quarterback since 2013. The Giants game, I probably could have thrown 3 touchdowns in that game.
He threw 4.
4. That's what I'm saying. I could have thrown 3.
Oh, you could have thrown 3?
There's
You're really good on the flat route, man.
And
He can coach the Browns, though, in 16.
I could. We all could. In the past 2 weeks, and Sean could actually win a couple games probably. In the past 2 weeks, he's been god-awful.
Yep.
They tried to get him feeling nice against the Cowboys, and he was bad.
Goes to show you how bad the backup position in this league is, because I said the Philadelphia Eagles have one of the 5 or 6 best backups, and they're the number 1 seed and should be the 6th seed. Mm-hmm. Considering if we reseeded him, I got Foles at 12 as well. They're at home. Now he's capable of throwing it, but the lack of movement and stuff and the lack of confidence the last 2 weeks, he can't be going in feeling well. I got Foles at 12.
Yeah, I have Foles at 11. Just the body of work, really. I mean, one game he throws 4 touchdowns. The next game he only throws 160 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. The body of work just isn't there enough for me. And the name of the game is trust, right? So It's not that he can't play well. Why would I trust that?
The name of the game is longer than trust. I forget
It's
what
a lot
it is,
of trust.
but I get it. Under my zero faith tier at number 11, I have Marcus Mariota. I don't think the player is unsalvageable. I think he can get better in the years to come. But right now, I don't know how you could possibly say, yep, this guy's going to go out and win me a playoff game. He's had a poor season.
I'm going with Blake Bortles at 11. If you told me that they were going to be up by 3 touchdowns, I'd have Bortles in the top 5. If you tell me they're going to be close in the football game, I'll tell you I'll have him exactly where I got him. At 11, I got Blake Bortles just because he doesn't. I'll talk about bodies of work that haven't proven it. It's him. Bortles at 11.
Yep, that's exactly why I have Bortles at 10. He's so up and down this year. If they are playing from behind, he can't win the game. I do trust the rest of his team, though, but when it comes to him...
Super Bowl defense, there's no question.
Yeah, my last guy in the zero faith category, number 10, Blake Bortles. And the reason I have him above the 2 other guys, at least he had a 3-game stretch this year where he looked like a competent quarterback. 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in that stretch. But other than that, he's been pretty inconsistent, so I put him at 10.
Okay, my number 10 is Tyrod Taylor. I love his deep ball. I just the ability to consistent, especially if LaShawn McCoy's not playing, I'm concerned about he's going to play, but I'm talking about at full health, Mm-hmm. I love Tyrod Taylor's deep ball, but you can't live by that in the playoffs. You got to be able to be efficient. You got to hit a lot of stuff that make me the simple play. And I don't see him in the postseason. I haven't seen much of him. So and he's got great feet. But I'm going with Tyrod Taylor just on the fact that they weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs. I got him at 10.
I have Tyrod at 9. With LaShawn McCoy banged up or out or whatever's going to happen with him, that's really not good for them. And Sean, it sounds like his own team and not his team, but his coaches in the front office don't believe in him. So how could you expect the guy to perform well when it just seems like they're a mess there?
Amen.
My next category is should be okay, and that's where I have Tyrod Taylor at number 9. I don't think he's going to be good, but I also don't think he's going to lose you the football game. I'll put him at 9.
I've got Mariota at 9 for this reason. If he plays like the guy I think he can play, like you said, the guy's career's not over, and he can use his feet in the game, he can extend plays, and he's got the ability to make plays on the run. I don't trust him, but I still believe that he's capable of a couple good halves. I'm going to go with him at 9.
I have Case Keenum and Jared Goff at an absolute standstill tie. Case Keenum is very well coached, has the number 1 defense, has home field advantage, has just enough offense to be somewhat dangerous. And then Goff, I trust Todd Gurley. I trusted his head coach. I trust his defense, and I trust his defensive coordinator. So they were a tie. I can't really pick one over the other.
8, 7,
Keenum's
7,
been
8.
in the league longer but hasn't played more.
Okay.
Yeah, I have in the should be okay category, 8 is Goff and 7 is Keenum. Both guys have played well in the regular season. They look like they're competent quarterbacks, but you mentioned it in the local show today, Sean, when you get to the postseason, different animals, so I got to see it. So I put them 7 and 8.
I got Keenum and Goff 8 and 7 too. It was 6 and 1, half dozen the other for me. Keenum, has had a spectacular season, but I got to see him when January hits, and January's rough. I've been in it, and it ain't fun. It's fun when you win. And then with Jared Goff, he's still young. He's got the big fella. They both got great teams to lean on. That's the key. Great players around him. Minnesota's got a loaded roster. And if they're running the ball well for Jared Goff, he's going to become more efficient. But I got those two. Like I said, I could actually see those two battling it out again. I got Keenum and Goff 8 and 7.
At 6, I have Cam Newton. Yes, he has played on the biggest stage before. Yes, when he's good, he's really good. But what happened in Super Bowl 50? He choked. What happened all of last season? He choked. If you were going to guarantee me that it was going to be good Cam, I might have him right underneath Brady or Roethlisberger. But right now, the name of the game is trust, and I do not trust Cam Newton.
Yeah, this is the only guy in this category for me. It's called high ceiling, but very, 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 very low floor.
I thought the ceiling is the roof.
Yes. Well, that's true, too. That's Clark Kent, Cam Newton. Because when he's good, he's really great. But when he's bad, he's going to lose football games like he did down the stretch of this season. So I have him 6th.
I can't put an inaccurate quarterback in my top 5. Like I said, it's Aaron Judge. If he's going good, you're going to see a bunch of home runs in the games. If he's going bad, you're going to see a bunch of interceptions, a bunch of missed wide-open receivers. Who's going to show up? The trust factor. I trust that he can make some big plays. I don't trust that he can make them consistently game in and game out through the playoffs.
At 5, I have Alex Smith. He obviously has
6. You're at 6.
No, 6 was Cam Newton for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad.
So at 5, I have Alex Smith.
Yep.
He clearly has some postseason demons, but this is a guy that beat Brady already this year. Started out 5-0. He has so many weapons. I have to believe, and they're starting to get back on track toward the end of the season. They continue that, and he might can actually win a game this year.
My next category, I have 2 guys in it. Won't lose it for you. Number 5 on my list is Alex Smith. He will not lose the game for you, but odds are he's not going to win it for you.
I got Alex Smith here as well. I think he's underrated. I may be cheating him out of a spot or two. And I'm going with that prediction in this postseason. Alex Smith will play well this weekend, and he will dominate, and they will win. The next step is the key for Alex Smith. We've seen this movie before.
At 4, I have Matt Ryan, and it's simply because he's coming off of an MVP season. He doesn't look like the same guy this year, but the potential's pretty high.
I actually have Drew Brees at number 4. I have not seen him win a game this year. He should have won the Falcons game for them, throws an interception at the end of the game. Rams game, he struggled down the stretch of that one. Drew Brees has not won this team a game in terms of his arm. It's been a team effort, so I'm going to put him at 4.
So yeah, I'm looking the other way. I've got Matt Ryan at 4, but I'm not. I'm very weary about this pick. He can go out and throw 2 picks and they get blown out by the Rams. He could throw for 400 against the Rams. I don't like the distance between the two, but an MVP last year and got him to the Super Bowl. I still think that he understands playoff experience. I'll put him there.
I have Drew Brees at 3, simply because of that run game is so great. He's not required to do it all this year, and he's won before.
Okay.
I have in men that you should fear 2 guys. Number 3 is Matt Ryan. Last season's postseason, 9 touchdowns, no picks. Until the fourth quarter, outplayed Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
He's got those capabilities. At number 3 for me is Drew Brees. Anybody who's as accurate as he is dangerous with that run game.
Roethlisberger at 2 for me was pretty close between him and Drew Brees. Yes, he has won more Super Bowls than Drew Brees, but it's because he's such a beast. I feel like he can be. He's Drew Brees. You could probably take him out of the game a little bit more than Big Ben.
Yeah, Ben 2 and Brady by himself at 1.
Yeah,
hold that.
Brady.
We're going to do that. We're going to come back with your hurry up. Before we do, we'll get to the last guy because I want to talk about him. I got Big Ben at number 2. The explosiveness with that offense is bigger than any window we have or any ceiling we have. Will we see it? Ben's number 2. He's got a couple rings. We'll be back.
The moment you realize you're ready to make dinner, but your oven isn't.
At Lowe's, we have more appliances to choose from, so you can get the right one at the right price right now. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Hurry into Lowe's and get up to 35% off select appliance special values.
The best WTA players are on beIN Sports. The Jensen Open semifinals. Simona Halep versus Arina Begu. Maria Sharapova versus Katerina Sienakova on beIN Sports.
Does the IRS claim you owe over $10,000 in back taxes? Are you receiving threatening letters and phone calls and not?
Break it down, man.
A lot of 2000s hip hop. I like this. I like this. Good job today, Ron. Great
Ron,
job.
with 2 N's, but you got to pronounce it.
Ron. He's got 2 N's in his name. Hello, Ron.
Ronald.
Oh, so you give a hesitation.
Yeah, it's like a little hyphen, but it's not there.
Oh, so you put the hyphen.
Create the hyphen.
I like that.
Yeah, Ron Culver, Bobby Beats, Robin Carlin, Adam Sager out, Brian Barrett. I'm Sean Salisbury. As we continue with our quarterback rankings, you guys kind of blew over, but let's make sure we give the last 2, who are our most trusted, the respect they deserve. You meant that you had Ben. One more reason why?
He's such a beast.
Yep. How about you?
He scares me. When he gets hot, he gets red hot. The guy has...
He's a streak shooter, man. When he's going, he's good. I got him at number 2. That guy, and he is so... He loves these kind of games. January's aside from the guy we're about to pick, January's made for number 7. He just is. So
And
I love it.
He struggled in the first half of the season. Second half of the season, he has been phenomenal.
Lights out. That's exactly.
And this is
there's
coming
no
from somebody that is not a fan of Ben.
Right.
Okay.
But he's got the capabilities. Like, you know what he is? I think he's better than Matt Ryan. Obviously, we trust him more. He's got those capabilities that Ryan's capable if he gets off and their offense rolls, because they're similar explosion with their receivers and running backs out of the backfield, that both of them could have monster games. Atlanta is going to have more trouble getting to the NFC Championship game than Pittsburgh is to the AFC Championship game. But
Very
I love
good
Ben.
point.
And number 1, you have obviously Brady.
Yeah, obviously 5 rings, 28-3, and then history. 5 of the 6 times he's had the number 1 overall seed, they've gone to the Super Bowl. So it was really stupid for the rest of the league to even allow the Patriots to have home field advantage.
Yeah, I had him in his own tier, the greatest living American. That's Brady. He's got 5 rings. He's been to 7 Super Bowls.
I tell you cannot call him that. I love him, but there are people out there who hate him.
Yeah, and it'd probably make a bigger impact on life than on the football field.
Well, it's a debatable statement.
Well, I can tell you this: the debate is no longer a debatable statement about who the GOAT is. The Joe Montana talk. It's done. There is no talk about who the best quarterback. And I've said it, and I said it on Dan Patrick's show last year at the Super Bowl. If you guys remember, he's the best football player we've ever had. Now, I'm not saying the most athletic. There's different. Jim Brown, great athlete. I mean, a lot of great athletes. I'm talking about the best football player. And there's no arguing it. The best coach and best quarterback are both on the same team. I trust him the most, regardless of his last 3 weeks where he's kind of struggled. This is the time when the eyes light up and the temperature of the game goes up and Tom Brady's blood pressure goes down. And that doesn't happen to many of them. Only the great ones, and there's a unique handful of them. Ben has some of that. Tom's got all of that. And if he's playing his best football, they will not lose in the postseason. If he plays average, Pittsburgh can beat him.
He's probably going to have 6 rings.
I don't think he's done after this year. So this may not be the last one.
And you said you told Dan Patrick this at the Super Bowl last year. Was that before or after you threw that duck on his set?
That was not a duck.
Debatable.
No,
just kidding. It was a nice throw.
A flick of the wrist for a long way. If they'd have, what I said.
We'll get the footage.
What I said is the building, and we've seen the footage.
Yeah.
The building couldn't hold me.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it.
I like that.
See what I'm saying?
You outthrew Ryan Leaf for sure.
It was just such a smooth release. Yeah. See, I finished.
Yeah.
Feel me? All right. Hey, we got time for a little hurry up, right?
Hurry.
Okay,
Let's go.
Let's start with this one. Which team playing on Wild Card Weekend has the best chance to play in the Super Bowl? Real quickly: Bills, Jags, Chiefs, Titans, Rams, Falcons, Saints, Panthers.
Chiefs and Saints.
Pick one.
Oh, one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant from each. Probably the Chiefs. If this is a team that started out 5-0, he's already beaten Brady. If they're clicking on all cylinders, they're completely unstoppable. They have the potential to do it.
Which team has the best chance to that's
Play in the Super Bowl.
That's playing on Wild
Not
Card?
win it, just play in the Super Bowl. So to get there.
Considering where they're at and what they're doing, I'll go probably considering I had them in the power rankings where they have them, and I'm going to go with them, the Rams. I had them higher than the Saints by 1 slot. So I would say the Rams of the teams playing. I think the most dangerous team is the Carolina Panthers if they're hot.
Yeah. I don't see the Chiefs because you would have to beat the Patriots, then the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I can't see that. So I'm going to go with the Saints because of the draw.
Yeah,
you
because
got
they may end up
Carolina,
in Philly.
a team you've played really well. You have their number, and then Philly. That's the thing.
The truth is, a team that goes to Philly has the best chance to advance.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian Dawkins up for the Hall of Fame. So which safety from the last decade would you take first? Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, or Troy Polamalu?
Best hair certainly goes to Troy Polamalu.
Well, here's the difference is
USC guy.
Here's the difference is there's different safety positions.
And Troy's
Sure, but
more of a
you're
Free
picking
and
one.
strong,
Yeah.
I know. Free and strong. Polamalu's around the ball
Yep.
more than any of them because he's near the line of scrimmage. Ed Reed was as good a free safety as we've ever had. I'm telling you, Ed
Yeah.
Reed was I'd probably go Reed first, Polamalu second, Brian Dawkins third. But I'm going to tell you what, Brian Dawkins will knock your you-know-what right in the dirt, dude.
I'm going to
He
go
was
with
a monster. All three of those guys all three belong in the Hall of Fame. The guy closest to the line of scrimmage, Polamalu, was the worst of the 3 cover guys.
Yeah.
He's the best of the 3 cover guys because the other guys are free safeties. The best ball hawk you'll ever see is Ed Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny on the spot, forced to turn. I'll take Ed Reed first over my Trojan.
I'm going to go Troy because I feel like he is a more complete all-around guy. Dawkins was more of a box safety. Reed was more of a center fielder. And Troy was a guy who could blitz, he could cover, he could play free safety, and he could also stuff the box like an extra linebacker.
I know this about
And the hair, Sean.
about
The
football
hair.
is I usually choose the guy closest to the line of scrimmage. He has to do more. Free safeties don't cover. Strong safeties cover, rush, blitz. make tackles in the run game. Polamalu's the most versatile of the three.
And Polamalu is the most fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And that's without question.
Maybe he's one of the most fun safeties ever.
Yeah, remember when he used to time up the snap count? He used to
over?
jump over. I mean, incredible. But I have to go with Ed Reed just because he's a game changer. He turned the ball over so many times, so many big returns.
It's like he had a magnet to the football.
Yeah.
And everybody gives Ray and all those guys the credit. I'm going to tell you what, I'm not so sure the catalyst for that defense wasn't Ed Reed during those runs.
Belichick says he's the best free safety ever.
I just said the same thing.
Yeah. Knicks have dropped to 18 and 20. They lost to the Wizards 121-103 last night. After the game, Kristaps Porzingis said this to the New York Post. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I have one day to rest my legs and get back and play better, and I have much more energy and try to bring the team's energy up. We're in a tough stretch. That mental part doesn't help at all. When it's mentally tough, you don't have it in you, end quote. Worried about the Unicorns' mentality right now?
I think it's a bad look. I mean, it's not like he went out and dropped 30 points and played his butt off. He only scored one bucket after halftime, right? So, listen, you're the guy in New York. Now that Carmelo Anthony is gone, you're the guy. We know you're tired. Okay, we understand that, but you can't say that out loud.
Here's what I don't want to ever hear. You can tell me you're physically beat up, but you keep showing up. Don't ever tell me you're mentally exhausted. You tell me that. You tell me it's a coward. It's a coward look.
Yeah,
I know you're tired. Hell, you get tired. We all tired. And every now and then a guy, hey man, I'm beat. I'm tired. I get it. But whenever you say I'm mentally tired, that tells me. And then the mental part is obviously affecting his game. I don't like it. That tells. I don't like mental weakness.
We want our athletes to be transparent, but not this transparent. Yeah. Like, I'm mentally exhausted. I'm physically exhausted. Remember earlier he's telling us that he may need elbow surgery? I don't like the way he's acting.
Here's the way I want. It's okay to lie to us about some things or not answer, meaning if you're an athlete. You don't have to tell us everything. I don't need your pillow talk. Okay, keep that for home. I don't need you to tell me you're mentally tired.
I'd rather you be Russell Wilson telling us nothing than be like Kristaps Porzingis telling us everything that's wrong with you.
I'll take Belichick over this any day of the week.
Sorry, man, you're a little bit tired. All right, this is a juicy one. Okay, which pass catcher from this decade would you take first? Antonio Brown, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, or Rob Gronkowski? You get one.
Yeah, but you said pass catcher
that's why Gronk's
overall player?
Overall player, but
route runner. See, when you say pass catcher to me, it's like who attacks the ball, because I'd take Larry.
No, not like
first.
Literally like hands. But out of those players, who would you take first?
You got one already?
Not Julio Jones. Gronk is a special player, but he can be taken out of games. I've seen Denver do it. Antonio Brown is unguardable. I mean, he has great body control, incredible hands, speed. I feel like Antonio Brown used his speed more than Megatron used his size. So he's completely unguardable. I'd have to go AB.
This is a tough list, man. I love the tight end position that can flex out and be a wide receiver because they create so many mismatches. I can tell you this. If you said the ball's in the air and I need one guy to catch it and go get it, Larry Fitzgerald's my first choice if I have a pressure catch I need. We just don't see his pressure catches enough because he's only been in really one big-time run. Well, two with Warner, right? We didn't see enough of.
Yeah, played in the Super Bowl.
That's exactly right.
And the NFC title.
And he's special.
He's a great playoff player.
I guess for me, I can take a big guy out on press coverage if you get a physical corner. I don't know how you stop Antonio Brown from getting off the ball, man. And then his run after the guy. I mean, I love Julio. Come on, you take one, I'll take one of the other five, and I'm going to win.
3 touchdowns this year.
Right. For me,
3.
To me, I think Antonio Brown's jumped. I think those two keep fluctuating. I think Antonio Brown's the best receiver in the league now. I do. Gosh dang, I can win with a lot of them, but right now, if I got to have a guy run after the catch, get off press coverage because he's so quick, and hit me a home run, I'll take Brown in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I would have gone with Gronkowski because he's the biggest.
Lover?
Well, yeah, that's part of it, but I can't put him there just because of the durability issues because he's hurt too much. That's a big issue.
Now, when the ball's in, he's such a mismatch for problems, but he's got to be on the field for 16.
Exactly, and when he does play, I mean, it's at an extremely high level. Kelvin Johnson, don't trust him because he quit on his team, retiring too early. So I would not want Kelvin Johnson. I don't like the mentality. So I would actually go Larry Fitzgerald just because I know he's going to be there each and every week, and in the playoffs, that guy is incredible. All you got to do is get him there.
What did I tell you about a clutch catch? You need a play, Larry Fitzgerald to make. Can you imagine if he had like Kurt Warner or Brady his entire career?
Well, yeah.
He would be the all-time pass-catching leader.
And imagine if Ben Roethlisberger doesn't lead the Steelers down and find Santonio Holmes in the back of the end zone. Larry Fitzgerald's catch, which nobody remembers anymore, that's like one of the biggest plays in the history of the Super Bowl.
I saw Chris Carter, played with him for a handful of years, body control. Larry Fitzgerald, who learned from Chris Carter, similar.
Right.
You see, you didn't give me Moss, and that's not fair, Rice, because that would have been obvious.
Well, Moss was too old.
Right, Antonio Brown.
For that generation.
Yeah.
And the thing, too, about Fitzgerald is he's probably the least talented out of these guys.
Slowest.
But he's the most dependable.
Yeah, when the ball's anywhere near him, he catches with his hands. He's special.
All right, overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated? We'll skip ahead to this. The first one, DeMarcus Cousins, because of yesterday.
Great.
Sean Devaney came on.
Underrated.
I think he's overrated because he doesn't know how to win. Great talent, but I've seen a lot of great talent guys end up watching TV and watching games. Great talent, overrated because he doesn't win. If you don't win, I want no part of it.
But
Sorry.
he's been on a tear lately, and the Pelicans are so up and down. I feel like
They're
he's
500.
Been consistent though.
Sacramento. He's a great talent. Does he make your team better?
That's why I say he's appropriately rated, because I don't think people look at him as like this mega superstar anymore. They're saying, okay, this guy can't win in the postseason. He's never been to the postseason.
He should have won more. Let's put it that way,
So
as good as he is.
I say appropriately rated. Okay, that haircut in which you shave the sides and the back real tight, and then you have a good amount of hair on the top. Like Bryce Harper had it for a bit. Andy Dalton has it
you
right
mean
now.
the overflop and it's tight cut?
Yeah.
Didn't we look at Andy Dalton's yesterday?
Yeah, Andy Dalton's haircut's similar.
It sticks straight up like 3 inches.
But you
Bryce
don't have to do it
Harper's is
exactly like Dalton.
You know, you're talking about a high
like
top fade with the flop look.
But yes, the top is a lot of hair.
Like overly long.
I like it. Looks good.
I think it's appropriately rated.
A lot of hockey players
you
have
have to have the proper hair for it.
So you're saying Dalton
doesn't?
doesn't?
But you can't have really
No.
You can't have really
No
curly
offense to
hair.
gingers.
You can't have really curly hair or wavy. A lot of it's got to be straight, thick, and floppy, so it kind of does its job.
Yeah.
So
Dalton's is not a good look.
Yeah, it's appropriately rated, I guess. It's not my look, but I understand why some like it.
Underrated.
All right, what about Joel Embiid?
Man, underrated.
I think he's underrated because people
know
don't
why?
trust him being on the court. I think he's a star.
He played with like a fractured wrist, or isn't there a sprained wrist or something? And when he was listed as like out, and then all of a sudden he plays. I mean, that shows me.
Is he the
toughness.
Gronkowski
And they
of-
won the game, so that shows me toughness.
He's
Underrated.
He's the Gronkowski of NBA. That when he's on the court, he's damn near unstoppable. I just got to keep him healthy.
I think he's overrated. His durability is a major
Yeah, but
issue.
you only overrate his durability, nothing else.
But
I think
aren't
he's
you
a great
impressed with the
player,
fact
but he's
that
also out of shape.
Yeah.
Aren't
He doesn't
you
get up and
impressed
down the
with
floor.
The fact that he played with a sprained wrist.
At least sometime play with an injury.
Gosh dang, my whole thing. No, that's there's not an injury. Playing hurt and injured are different. A sprained wrist, put some tape on and get your butt out there and play.
Yeah, he's out all the time. All right, how about frosted tips?
Highly overrated.
Overrated.
Did you go back in time?
Roger Clemens had him.
Frosted.
Nick Lachey.
I have buddies that I've
Timberlake
seen
had
that they
him.
went the frosted tips is a horrible look.
Yeah, horrible.
Horrible. Highly overrated.
Debatable.
No,
I say
it
underrated.
isn't.
I think it's a good look. All right, how about bubble hockey? Remember that game in the arcade?
Underrated.
Underrated. It's one of the best games. It's one of the best board slight type games of all time.
Devontae Freeman.
Properly rated.
Ask me after this weekend.
I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
He gets like 4.5 yards a pop. They don't give him the ball enough.
That's the problem. There's a reason why they don't.
Yeah, apparently they overrate him too because they don't give it to him very
Right, and
much.
you paid him. It doesn't make any sense
Ask
to
me
me.
after this weekend against the Rams' 28th ranked rushing defense.
And they have to throw the ball against the linebackers to those backs. You got one more real quick?
The mushroom cut.
Like Mark Davis?
You mean like the Three Stooges guy?
No, the mushroom cut is when you have it looks like a mushroom and you shave all the sides. Like it was
With the
very popular
bangs,
in the
though?
90s. I had the mushroom
With
cut.
the bangs.
Horrible look.
Like Mark Davis.
Horrible look.
Not like Mark Davis exactly.
Horrible look.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas had it for a couple of years in Tool Time.
The simple fact that you call it the mushroom cut's a bad haircut. We got to go to break. Are you
The
done?
mushroom cut is epic.
Dude, you like every haircut. You just named every one. You said underrated, underrated, underrated,
tips.
underrated. You like every haircut.
I like a lot of haircuts, yeah.
I saw you with the buzz cut on your old license. Underrated.
Underrated?
Underrated.
Maybe I'll go back to it.
Ask Sean's next. It's Be in Sports. It's right here on the Sean Salisbury Show.
Compare.com is clearly a better way to save